Ingo brings over 4 decades of experience across spa, hospitality, and wellness development. As the CEO of 𝘂𝗀𝗵𝗶𝗹𝗶, he leads multidisciplinary teams that strategize, conceptualize, design, and manage some of the world's most progressive wellness destinations. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Ingo to the stage.
Good morning. Hello. Yeah. Good morning, everybody. Today I want to talk about a subject which I did not learn in hotel school. It's a huge business now, so I want to bring some clarity to the business in front of us there. Oh, it's working. Okay. Thank you. So I'm going to show you some ancient pictures. And I'll show you those ancient pictures because the wellness industry is actually very old. But it has really evolved over the last 2 years. And if you look at those pictures, you can see really what has happened there, because this is where we are today. It's a very different industry. It has inculcated in tourism in a big way. And we all know if we don't do the right thing, if we don't eat the right thing, if we don't work out in the right manner, we have a problem. The pandemic has taught us a lot of little lessons there. Now, out of this came a massive economy. It's an economy which is bigger than many other economies. If you look at fashion and sports and pharmaceuticals, who would have thought that wellness is so big and that wellness really has taken over different business streams around the globe? Now, if you look at this diagram here, you can really see how they're all interwoven. So there's a $6-7 trillion industry, approximately 6% of global GDP, merging with each other, collaborating with each other, and being interdependent with each other. And if you look at this, we are all in the right business, because the growth of the wellness industry, if it comes to real estate or tourism, is phenomenal. So there is lots of years where lots of money, lots of developments can be made there. And many of us are really not aware. And as I said, I went to German hotel school, went to an American hotel school. The subject wellness was really not a subject I was ever exposed to. A little bit about our company. We are Bangkok and LA based. Temasek is our sister company. We consult, we operate, we own. We have gotten many awards for our work. We work all over the world. I stopped at counting when we had 45 countries in our portfolio. We are in various larger transactions. Right now, there's 2 big transactions happening. I think you will read in the coming months. In the past, when 𝗁𝗁 was sold, we were on the seller side. When Six Senses was bought, we were on the buyer side. So we are often behind certain transactions in the business, and we got a lot of awards for our work around the world. Now, let's first talk about numbers. Look at those results from 2019, 2020, 2021. If you have a small wellness component, a medium-sized wellness component, a more significant wellness component, you simply drive substantially higher rates. You make more money for your owner or for yourself if you own the property. Now look at the last few years. The train continues. So wellness is not an amenity anymore. Wellness is a driver for business. Now, if you look at this year, what really drives our revenue models? The room rate, the category of rooms booked, the length of stay, the guest segments, and the overall value being spent. So what a consumer spends that particular day, that's what we bring home to our bottom line. Ooh. Now, look at this now. I'm going to show you data from 3 continents. The first one is the Americas, the second one is Asia, and the next one is going to come is Europe. So it doesn't matter where you are. And you can see this here. The spa consumer is simply more valuable consumer. He stays longer in the property, he buys more suites, and he's part of the leisure business. The leisure business is always more profitable than the corporate business. Let's look at that in Europe, it's the same. Higher rates, overall spending substantial more, overall stay substantial more, makes more money, is much more in leisure. So if you invest in leisure, wellness must be a consideration. Now the problem is, and I repeat myself, that's not what we have learned in hotel school. Many of our general managers, including myself when I was a general manager, I was a general manager for Shangri-La and Ritz-Carlton, I did not know how to run really wellness. And I remember one day at the opening of the Ritz-Carlton in Hong Kong, I literally asked my spa and fitness manager at that time to leave me because I had meetings with the F&B and the rooms person. So the ignorance which I had at that time is still prevailing in many of us, unfortunately. Now, out of this came a business model which has 15 to 20 profit centers. Now, this is not different than having 10 or 15 restaurants. Now, if we have not learned how to run those 10, 15 business centers, we cannot be profitable. So the entire wellness business is very interesting, but it's an entire new chapter. It works differently, and it puts different emphasis on different parts of the business. But we also have learned in recent past that the millennials, the youngsters, not the baby boomers like me, we may have more money, but really who spends the money is the next generation. So it is not the baby boomers, which was like 7, 8 years ago, it's the millennials, Generation X, who spends substantially more money on wellness than anybody else around the globe. If you look at destination wellness resorts around the world, you can see that at times of off-seasons, of problems around the world, during 9/11, during the pandemic and related, the wellness centers actually make substantial more money. This is data in 2014, 2019, and it looks at 2 locations in Thailand, and it looks at all the other hotels, Four Seasons, Six Senses, W, InterConti, Marriott, and it looks at the 2 destination spas. And who makes substantial more money? The destination spas. So if you're in the off-season and you have 20, 30% less occupancy at an average rate of $700, $800, $900, you lost that money. It will never come back. It's the same when the airplane takes off and half of the seats are empty. You can never get them back. So wellness has its place, and it's not seasonal connected, and it generates plenty. What's the difference there? The difference is actually very simple. It is about food. You are what you eat, but more and more great hotels also have more and more healthy food. But the key is here, one is sold per person, and the other one is sold per room. Now, if you have 2 people in a room, and the average occupancy in a wellness resort is 1.5 to 1.8, you make 2 times a certain amount of money. But if you have this hotel, great hotel, but you always book a room, and there's one rate. If you're with 1 person inside, with 2 people inside, or with 3 people inside. So the business model is a very different one, and this is programmed. You come inside there and you spend 24/7 in wellness resorts. You don't go for lunch somewhere else and for dinner somewhere else. So the overall value of the money which stays in wellness resort is substantially higher than in hotels where you then go somewhere else for lunch or dinner. Now, how can that be achieved? I also own 𝘂𝗏𝗶𝗹𝗶 Health and Wellness, as a consulting company, and we look at data from around the world. And if you don't measure, you won't get. So a couple of companies, more in the luxury space, have inculcated KPIs for general managers. Ooh la la. The spa and wellness manager is part of the X-score. There's a certification going on to make sure that really the know-how stays within the company. There's a detailed marketing plan. I can tell you, you will be surprised how many hotels do not have a marketing plan for their $5 to $10 million wellness facilities. It's a minor operating department. They don't even have the detailed breakdown of how to achieve those revenues. And at the end, the X-score is really not informed. It's not really part of the overall infrastructure there. So the key right now where we are in this industry, it is growing dramatically, but it's really, are we wellness washing or are we authentic in wellness? And if you invest the amount of money you need to invest in wellness, you need to make sure that we really do a good job and that we really treat the people well, that we measure what has to be measured, and that we design it with professionals in place. Now, this is where this all comes from. This is the root. You could call about root cause analysis. Do we want to be healthy for 63 years, or where our lifestyle is? So the lifespan is not so important. You want to make sure that the last 10 years really of your life, are great years. You're happy, you're fit, you're mentally capable. And how do you accomplish this? Through longevity. Longevity is a buzzword which only came in the last 2 years. Quite frankly, the sanatoryums in Europe and other parts of the world had longevity already a long time ago. But precision medicine helps you to prevent the illness patterns you will otherwise be exposed to. And I'm going to show you here a little picture of what longevity is all about. So it's a merger of analyzing and diagnosing, analyzing the illness patterns you have and giving you remedies to go after them. And that is not painful. It looks a bit medical, but it is not painful, it's not complicated, and really is de rigueur. Here, another part, it starts recently with a consultation, a diagnostic of where you are. It goes to the assessments of the treatment plan. It goes to the various innovations, and it can be part of a wellness center. I'm going to now move into wellness clubs around the world, because wellness clubs in the last few years have replaced a lot of fitness centers. Fitness centers don't make money. They're an amenity, they cost staff, they cost equipment. Clubs make a lot of money. Now, let's look at them here in this part of the world. So, Dubai, Monte Carlo, London, you see memberships between $5,000 and $15,000 per year. And now I'm going to show you some pictures here. And you see, they don't look like fitness clubs anymore, like fitness centers. They are next generation wellness clubs, where you can make per person, and normally they have 250 to 400 members, depends on where they are in the world. You can generate somewhere between 10,000 on average. Lanzarote in London, Zero here around the corner. There's another one coming. Serene, I think this is one of the best ones. It's Qatari-owned, the Mayborn Group in London. And if you look further in North America, there's even higher prices there. You can see it goes somewhere from $5,000 to $30,000 a year, up to $90,000 a year. So it depends on where you are and what is inculcated and included in your program there. Here are a couple of visuals there. Again, they look like living rooms, which have a fitness component, a thermal component, a movement component, and a nutrition component incorporated. Hyperbaric oxygen chambers cost $80,000. Core Milan, one of the most interesting facilities and more next generation, and really this is right now, the Continuum is one of the most prestigious, most cutting-edge facilities. In order to activate them, of course, we have to have a dedicated sales strategy, and that's a very different sales strategy than to sell a guest room. So you need to line this up. You have to have an entire team to incorporate this, but I can tell you, you will turn your non-revenue generating, money-losing amenity of fitness into a profit center. The same is for the membership of the real estate component, and I'm going to briefly go inside there. I'm going to show you just one example. There's one here, which is the 𝘁 Wellness Clinic. We were the manager of the original 𝘁 Wellness Clinic in Spain. Trivananda, the owner, developer, is the owner of Trisara. They're developing something in Thailand. So real estate goes from $1.5 to $3 million per house. And then they have a 50-room wellness hotel, which you can see in the center there. Now, some examples of the different wellness venues which are coming up around the world. Amla is for sure the biggest one. In Amla, we created 3 different hotels in the Wellness Core. In the Wellness Core, you see, this is a piece of land in the middle there. It's 90 hectares of land, and it will get a La Prairie, and it will get an adult-only and a family-only wellness resort. So, catering to different guest segments there. And what did we do there in order to be authentic? We studied the architecture, we studied the wellness modalities, we hired 9 researchers around the world in order to make sure that the wellness modalities from the wider Islamic world is properly represented there, because we didn't want to bring Ayurveda or Chinese medicine from the respective East, or homeopathy or related from the West, but we wanted to be really authentic there. And then we got it peer-reviewed by Stanford, Harvard, and Oxford University. We looked at the architecture and look how the original architecture from this part of the world historically was interpreted. And then we looked how the architecture can be expressed in a modern, commensurate with today's needs and requirements. And out of this came this project. So on the top left, you see Amala. On the bottom right, you see JSON. And on the bottom left, you see also the La Paris entrance. A couple of other projects. This is an old palazzo in Italy, dilapidated, $28 million investment, converting it into a cell therapy cum water treatment facility. That's around $35 million in revenue right now. A very, very different project. This is 𝘁𝗏. 𝘁𝗏 is creating Indigo. Indigo is going to be the new business center of Beijing. There's going to be 45,000 people who are going to work in those towers on the right side. On the left side, you can see the entire podium here. And the entire podium of this entire project, so wedged between here and here, we'll have 18,000 square meters of wellness coming. So the 45,000 people who work upstairs have an entire wellness podium over 3 floors, including indoor and outdoor facility, totally dedicated to wellness lifestyle. Hardcore, soft, nutrition, whatever one wants, many, many different facilities are going to be created as we speak right now. A very different undertaking was the Paris Saint-Germain Soccer Academy in 𝘁𝗍𝗶. 𝘁𝗍𝗶 is home to a couple of wellness facilities there. A developer, private developer, soccer enthusiast, puts an entire facility together with 3 different soccer fields. Now comes an entire Rafael Nadal tennis academy and a 50-meter Olympic-sized pool, a 75-room hotel by the ocean with the beach club. So it's going to be an entire integrated wellness, sports, fitness facilities. At this moment, the Chinese and the Korean national junior teams are training there. That's wellness too, that's hospitality too, but very different than the ordinary offer one may have. And in closing here, I'm going to share with you a couple of our projects which are under development. We bought last year from the Rosewood parent, New World, we bought the 5 Elements brand out of Bali. We're creating right now this project here in Montenegro. Half of this is real estate here, condos, hotel rooms, 6,000 square meters of wellness, 3 restaurants, a couple of chalets, and then here an entire real estate component with approximately 80 units. Some of the vistas over there, beautiful setting, and we have another site right opposite the one and only. So we're going to have 2 hotels and 2 wellness communities where real estate, integrative medicine, healthy food, and beautiful environments all merge. Then we bought last year this little wellness village in Ubud. We are right by the river here. The entire hotel is hugged by the river, has beautiful yoga shalas. It's Condé Nast number 10 right now in the world, or last year, 2025. We are expanding this right now. We are acquiring the land next door and creating out of this an entire wellness community, also 5 Elements branded. Here you can see some of the visuals. And we are taking away a bit of the more rustic look and clean this up right now into a more modern, contemporary look. And last but not least, we bought the Meridian Hotel in Koh Samui. We have a 150-meter beachfront. We are expanding this. We bought this entire land here as well, so we have 185 meters. We have 14 pool villas there, 77 keys, and around 50 of those keys have swimmable pools. And this is some of our new design there. So wellness is here to stay. Wellness is growing. It's a new chapter in our industry. It's a chapter which is only growing further. I wish all of us luck in being part of that wellness economy. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.